What's up everyone on YouTube? Today I decided to make a video just going over my 7 sources of income. So to give you guys kind of a background of me, right now I'm in a undergraduate degree program at university. I'm 19 years old. I just started investing like not even 2 years ago. And since then, since becoming an adult, I've been able to be blessed with having 7 sources of income by this point in my life. And well, it might seem insurmountable for a lot of people, it actually really isn't. And in fact, some of these sources of income you guys can get basically super simple like this, just by opening a stock market account or whatever. So without further ado, let's begin. So the first source of income that I ever got was getting a part-time job, and that happened to be at Publix. Publix is a grocery store. Many people are familiar with it. It's in the east of the United States. And I started working there making $9 an hour. Got a raise $9.50, then 10, then 10.35, then 10.85, then 11. And then now I'm making like 12.65. And after taxes, I make $1.54 an hour. And so I've learned a lot at that job. I've certainly been promoted. I've been there for 3 years, since 2017, and I've been able to make, from that beginning of 2017 till now, I've been able to make like $30,000. It's like about 10K each year, give or take. And yeah, so that's basically the first sources of income that I got. The second sources of income I got when I turned 18, and actually it was 3 months after I turned 18. So I wanted to invest, and I was looking at different companies, and I was pretty bullish on China. I've always been bullish on China. I was bullish on Disney, and I was not bullish on Tesla. I didn't even know what they were, or Apple for that matter, or Microsoft. I was just focused on those companies that were like right in front of my face. And so I got into investing. So I opened up an account on TD Ameritrade, put in $50, bought into some shares of General Electric just because they were down, and that was my first ever investment. And so basically from then on, through investing, investing in of itself is a source of income because you gain money. You do in fact gain money, you profit, but you take your profits once you sell. And so I have not sold out of many positions. I have not really taken profits, and I don't plan on taking profits for a long time. But what I do gain out of this is that I was able to receive dividends. So my second source of income was indeed the dividends. And so dividends are just, you own a share of a company, you own a part of a company, and they pay you part of the earnings of it. So let's say this company's earnings per share is $1. They might give you 25 cents just for being a shareholder, just thanking you for holding the company. And since you own a share in the company, you own a share in the cash flows of the company, the profits. That's the way that they give it back to you. Okay. So I got dividends, and I was working at Publix, and back then I was like really big on dividend investing. It is true that dividend investing can give you, unstoppable wealth. But now and recently I kind of have a change of heart. Like, it does take a long time to get up to that point. Like, full disclosure, I had like roughly, I think like maybe $20,000 invested in stocks that pay dividends over all my portfolios, and in 1 year, guys, 1 year, not a month, not a day, in 1 year, okay, 1 year, I made like less than $700. So that's like $2 per day, which is not bad, but you would need like $1 million at like a 4%, dividend yield to get like 40K a year from doing nothing, which is great. Like, if you're earning that, props to you, but it's still $1 million, and to get there is going to take a long time. So anyway, I kept investing, I kept getting the dividends, and I kept working at Publix. Then crisis 2019 happened, and I just noticed how, compared to other companies, Publix was not treating us well. they were not caring nearly as much as they should have, and they were being complete hypocrites. And I absolutely hate hypocrites. Like, if you're gonna stand for something, keep standing for it. You know what I mean? Like, don't just like fake out of it when times get tough. You know, I'm all for adapting, you know, and changing when you're wrong, but like that was unacceptable, and I still haven't forgiven them for it. I've definitely just my entire like opinion of them just came displaced. So yeah. Anyways, it was in that point that I got motivated to start delivering groceries for Instacart, and so that was my third source of income. So at this point, we have Publix, investing with the dividends, and the stock appreciation, which I mean doesn't really count, but whatever, and then delivering groceries. So I keep delivering groceries, and then I make good money delivering groceries, better compared to Publix. Like I make double, and what's great is that I don't have to pay any taxes because you're considered your own business, and as such you can have a lot of leisure in writing things off. Okay, this is why wealthy people don't pay taxes, because they write things off, as everyone should. Anywho, in that point, I kind of got smart, and I was like, let me apply for all these other apps, let me have diversity. And that was actually a great idea. I encourage everyone that's working gig to have diversity. Even if you don't plan on driving people for Uber, just at least be approved to do it, because you never know when it's going to come in handy. Diversity is key when it comes to gig apps. So I applied to Grubhub, Postmates, DoorDash, Uber, yada yada yada, list goes on. Eventually I got accepted into DoorDash and Uber, and I started delivering food at night. So that was my fourth source of income, and it worked great because when Instacart stopped working, food delivery was always popping. Like at night, I would just drive around, and that was before Uber had its changes. So I was making about $17 an hour doing that on average, and I was happy because it was still more than Publix, and I could do whatever I want. I can listen to music, I can just chill. It was just a different vibe, and I felt like it was better because I was in control. So basically right now we have the Publix, the investing, the Instacart, and food delivery, and I kept doing that for a while, and then my rating in Instacart went down after they changed it because of Crisis 2019. And I got scared because if you have even if you have a subpar rating, if your rating is not absolutely perfect, apparently you lose access to the really high paying batches, or you don't see good batches. So I was like, I don't want to chance this any further. Making careless mistakes. I go so fast, I just forget things. I just forget things. I have so many things on my mind, I forget it, and it bites me back. So I ended up applying for a lot of different apps on top of that. I ended up doing a quick Reddit search and looking at the different apps that were available, and I just applied for more of them, kind of stretch out the net. So one of the companies, I applied to many companies, but one of the companies that I get into was actually called Bellhops, and this is a moving company. So with Bellhops, you just basic premise is that you go into the customer's house, you greet them, yada yada yada. You pick up their furniture, their boxes, everything they have packed. You put it into a truck, then you drive to their new house. You load it off the truck, and that's it. So this is a job that anyone could do, but I will say that it is an intense job. It's one of the hardest jobs I worked, just from a physical standpoint, because you kind of are those people that do moves all day. They're athletes. Props to them, because I don't think I could ever do that, at least not yet. But that was my fifth source of income, doing moves. And I just did moves on very sparingly. I never really explored it as much, but the amount I did explore gave me some tips I'll share in another video. But other than that, it's a great job. And since it's something that no one really wants to do, the tips can be really good. Trust me. And they do take really good care of their guys, because I feel like they're not that big. Once they get pretty big, I would expect them the quality to be a lot worse. But until that happens, it's a pretty good quality. Sorry about that. And basically, that brings me on to my sixth source of income, TaskRabbit. TaskRabbit is actually a way to finesse Bellhops, and I mean that because you literally can set your own rates. TaskRabbit is everything I just said, besides investing in the part-time job, and you can do different gigs like cleaning, babysitting, moving, all all this type of stuff, like waiting in line for people, that sort of thing. And so you set your own rates. Someone hires you, you go to their house or whatever to do it, and it's lit. And they can also tip you. So I literally only did one job from this, because you have to open up your availability like each week. And since I have all the other sources of income, I just put it on the back burner, like is there just in case. And I do also have, as a side note, other things just in case, which I'll reveal in a later video much later on. So anyways, I did one job. It was really good. Like for the time I spent, like it was great. And I was like, yeah, this was a good source of my time. But a lot of the jobs I noticed in our area are moving jobs. And Bellhops pays, once you become a pro, they pay $13 an hour, not including tips that you can get. And they pay you to travel really far. But you literally, like, you can finesse that. So you'll be getting the tips, and like you can change the rate to like $20 an hour. And you can do that just starting off, basically, you know. So that's great. That's why I love working for yourself, because you can charge your own rates. And TaskRabbit really allows you to leverage that. Then, kind of like in the beginning of the school year, August, I got accepted into my exercise science program. And I heard from Chicken Genius Singapore. By the way, I'm going to link his channel in this video. But even if I don't, look up Chicken Genius Singapore. He changed my life. I'm going to make millions more because of him. But anyways, he said that one of his sources of income was selling options. And I watched the video about it, on how to buy stocks cheaper. And it sounded like a cool premise, but it didn't really click in my head. So eventually I decided to dabble in it. And I sold my option, because I don't really tend to buy options, but I tend to sell them because I feel like the risk to reward is better. So I'm now in the selling options. And oh my God, like selling options, I don't want to say it's free money, but it is like free money. Like it is great. And so now one of my goals in my portfolio is actually to turn every holding I have into a position that can sell me options. And the more volatile the stock, the higher the premiums are on these options, and you can make good money. So right now I'm doing the wheel strategy on Apple, and I picked Apple because when you wheel, and I'll discuss the wheel in a different video, but essentially you want to wheel a stock that you're not married to, like that you cannot live without, but like you also wouldn't mind holding. And this is a stock that goes up. So companies like Microsoft or Apple tend to always go up. Okay. And I chose Apple because basically they make up the majority of this huge index fund called the S&P 500. And I just feel like with all the smart money and everyone kind of flooding money in, it's kind of impossible for the stock price to go down. Because stock price is really determined between the relationships between buyer and seller. So anyways, I'm wheeling Apple now. I had to basically sell out of most of my dividend stocks on Robinhood and clear out my checking account. And I just had barely enough money when Apple fell from 130 to 110 to get in at that price and start selling options. And it's been great. Ever since I started selling options, I already made like 10% on my principal. And it's great. Like the only bad part about selling options is that it's counted towards your income on taxes, so you are taxed a lot higher than you would be with dividends. But even then, like let's hypothetically say that you make $100,000 a year, and let's just to say anything that the tax rate is like 50, like, and this is like with all your things combined, right? That's still more than dividends. Like you're still getting a higher yield with dividends, because dividends is mostly like, you're lucky if you can get like 7% in 1 year. That's like AT&T going all in on that. But with like options, like you can make 7% like in a month. If you know, if it's like an above average month, you can make 7% in just that 1 month. In a year, that's God, that's like 84% just off of that. Now I will say that as a side note, it might be better to hold on to the stock than to sell the options on the stock. I'm kind of learning that lesson now, but selling options is just phenomenal. Actually, like I was about to buy a house in 2021, but because of options, I'm not going to buy a house or get into real estate until much later on when the taxes really start to get to me. So anyways, guys, hope this video wasn't too long, but to summarize, my 7 sources of income thus far is still my part-time job, dividends, options, Instacart, food delivery, bellhops, and TaskRabbit too. So my 7 sources of income, and if I can do it, you all can do it too. And guys, like, YouTube is going to become my 8th source of income, and I might start tutoring people, 9th source of income, and I might start training people, 10th source of income. And it might sound like crazy, like, oh, you have so many jobs, like, how can you do this? But it really isn't. Like, when you work for yourself, you have so much flexibility that all the pressure on that, when you're ambitious like me, like all that pressure, like there is no pressure with all these jobs. Like the goal is to, make as much money as possible, to invest as much money as possible so you can retire as soon as possible and live the best life that you can. So anyways, guys, thank you for this video. I hope it was motivational, and I'll be updating my YouTube channel to kind of give you guys a roadmap on where you can get to where I'm at. And I'll detail everything, what I did, transparency, and we'll get you guys there. So thank you so much, and God bless.